Hey fellow artists, if you haven't yet called yourself an artist, maybe this is your sign to start doing so. In this video, I want to share with you 5 of my tips to start making money out of your art. It's not as hard as you think, it's not impossible, it is doable. If you don't know me, I'm Aya. I got started as a children's book illustrator 2 years ago, and I started calling myself an artist for the first time 2 years ago. I chose children's book illustrations since they were my dream since I was little. I always wanted to make illustrations like the ones that I see in stories and in the novels and stuff like that. So how did I get paid? How did I get started? I'm here to tell you all about it. My tips for today will not only help you to launch your career as a children's book illustrator, but it will also help you to start your art career in general. Because the tips I'm about to give you apply to almost any kind of art out there. So stay tuned. I currently only have about 3 books published on Amazon. I got the 2 that I like because, as you improve as an artist, you start to despise some of your old work. So I now have 3 published books on Amazon and more to go in the publishing process. I'm going to start my tips with what worked with me. I, as a person, get discouraged really quick, really fast. I'm not the best one to work on long-term goals or long-term plans, which is really kind of necessary to survive. However, I know I would get discouraged if none of my art would sell immediately, if I didn't get clients the minute I started as an artist, I guess. So, in order to avoid any discouragement, I started practicing while at the same time I put myself out there for commissions. I'm not sure if this is something wrong to do, and maybe this is why I have some of my very first artwork that I don't really like. I got paid for it, the client liked it, but now I don't like it. It might be wrong, I'm not sure. However, this is what I did because I knew I wanted to get paid in order to gauge if I'm succeeding or not. Because if no one is willing to pay for my art, so maybe I'm not a real artist, I decided I'm not gonna wait until I'm convinced I'm good enough to get commissioned. I started joining as many Facebook groups as possible, the ones related to my niche, which is children's book illustration. In your case, you can do that to whatever niche you would like. You can search Facebook groups for commissions, for portraits, for book illustration, just whatever niche you're willing to enter. So what I did is I joined those Facebook groups. I joined tens of them. I saw the ones that were regularly active and I started scrolling, seeing if someone looks for an artist. At this point, if you're a beginner like me, I didn't really have a portfolio, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. I didn't have previous work, nothing. So what I would do is I would DM someone I would think that they're a beginner author as well. So someone who's just starting out as an author, they don't want to pay much money and they don't really know what they're doing. So they kind of need someone to grow with. This person is probably working another job. They're not mainly an author. They're just looking forward to set a foot into the author or the children's book industry. Whenever I saw a post asking for an artist, which is casual, if they would say put your portfolio, leave your info, leave your website, I would not message them. Don't go there because there are hundreds, maybe thousands of illustrators who are very professional, have a very high experience, and they were probably getting that job. They probably had their website put together and they're ready for talking with authors. So my very first tip for someone who would want to monetize their art or just create art to get paid or do commissions is to have a portfolio. I did not want to invest time and energy and effort and place them into creating a portfolio without knowing for a fact that I will be making money. This is why I wanted to get paid for my portfolio pieces. I would create art, I would at the same time use this art to immediately get a client so that any more work that I do would be paid for, and then I would reuse it for my portfolio instead of just spending a year or more to just create art for myself for my portfolio that will not be sold. For me, this is a luxury that I will have just to kind of spend this energy and effort without seeing results. I wanted to know for sure that my art can really get me paid before investing money or resources or time into creating a children's book art portfolio. However, my point is don't wait till you have a portfolio put together in order for you to apply for art jobs. You can get art jobs with 1 to 5 illustrations. Like I said, the best kind of portfolios is the one that you get paid for. Tip number 2, I recommend that you join Facebook art groups related to your niche. However, I need you to know that people on Facebook groups, specifically Facebook art groups, are very judgmental and they're kind of know-it-alls. So make sure they don't get to you if you're not there yet. If your art isn't looking the prettiest thing ever, don't care. Just post your art there, message people with your art, comment on posts for people looking for illustrators with your art, and be confident. You're not the best artist out there, but you also aren't the worst. And always remember that there's a learning curve to everything in life. And always remember that there's a market for beginners art. Also stay on the lookout for, people whose children are into writing books. So they're looking for an illustrator on a budget. They are not looking to make like the perfect or best-selling book there is. They just need an illustrator with a nice enough illustrations. So this is a good place to start. And actually this was my first book that I created. It was for a kid author, so this explains a lot. I was a beginner and they didn't want to pay a lot, and it worked really well. My third tip is that after you've done your first and second tips, you would start getting more advanced. By now you probably have drawn more, you've messaged and talked to authors, you've send them samples. It's time for you now to create a website. You can always make a website the minute that you're pursuing an art career. However, you don't really need it if you don't have like something to post on there. After you feel like you've had content, you've illustrated a book, you have more than like 5 illustrations to post, you can always create a website that is really simple. I will take you through my website. It is very simple. I have like 5 tabs on there. One for like message me or contact me, one for my portfolio, and one for my published book, something like that. It's really simple. However, it's a really important step to like level up your art and level up the kind of clients that you get, because authors who are already published, they have books in the market, they're always going to ask you about your website. This makes you look more professional, and it kind of removes a lot of red flags that you're a beginner artist. So now if a client wants to know if you're a legit artist, you're not a scammer, you're not an AI artist, if they want to make sure there are no red flags around you, and if they can trust you as an illustrator, you can say like, look, I have my website on there, it has my history and my portfolio, it has all the work that I've done for like 2 years or whatever. Tip number 4. Get started on a freelancing website as soon as possible. By get started, I don't mean just create an account and wait for it. I mean create an account and Google how to have a successful career on that website. Watch YouTube videos and research more about SEOs. Those steps will help you tremendously, because if you do create an account and just disappear, you probably will have no one messaging you or wanting to hire you. Join a freelancing website of your choice and research how to be successful on that platform, because each platform is different. What it takes to succeed on a platform changes from a platform to another. And if you want me to deep dive on the freelancing websites and how to go about them, or if you just want me to deep dive about anything in this video, just make sure to leave a comment below and I will get back to you and try to create this video for you. Tip number 5 is cold emails or cold messages. I mentioned that you'd have to join about tens of Facebook groups, and I've mentioned that we need to post and leave comments on the posts. Now you also need to cold message any author. This might be a bit spammy, and it will be, but it works. Like whenever I see someone asking for an illustrator, I would leave them a comment with an image from my artwork, a link to my website, and I would message them with about 10 images like from my illustration work, along with my price list. And why this works to get you a client is because you leave a price list. Whenever you comment on a post, you probably don't leave your price list, especially if you're a beginner and you don't charge that much. You don't want to ruin the market. Like I've seen people say I charge about $5 or $20 for an illustration. This is ridiculously low, so you don't want to do that. Other artists are going to roast you for it, so don't do that. Also, don't price your art like this low, because it shows that you are a beginner and you don't know any of your stuff. I would say just message them. Tell them in the comment that you left on their post that you've messaged them the price list, because if they like the image that you commented, they're gonna get back to the message and eventually get back to you. So you can always do cold messages, like I said, or cold emails. Something that I also did is check like children's books on Amazon and check out the author's name, and then I Google the author and then I get their contact information and then I email them. However, I didn't do that quite a lot because most of the time my clients are finding me, so I haven't had the need to do that a lot. I only did it once. However, this is something that I would recommend that you do in order to find illustration work. That's it for my video. Please tell me anything in the comments and leave me any questions below, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you guys for watching, and bye.